We're back in the man cave.
We're back, and wherever you are in the world and whenever you are in the world, it's Saturday night and you're here with us at the Gunners Club. And today, pizzas.
We really don't have a life, do we?
We don't.
I mean, we're spending our Saturday nights with you guys. How sad is that?
But you're welcome to join us. So pizza's the classic cheese sandwich. We've tried the classic cheese sandwich. Basically bread with cheese. Something that was originally a Greek invention. It's something that the Italians like to plaster their flag upon. We've decided to do the classic competition of the heavyweight juggernauts in Australia. So weighing in at 260 odd stores, and here in Australia since 1970, Pizza Hut.
Oh, yes.
And then the Johnny-come-lately who burst onto the scene in Queensland in 1983, Domino's Pizza. But Domino's has become very, very big in Australia with about 740 odd businesses.
Wow.
Huge.
Wow.
Now, I don't know what your preconceived ideas are of these, Seuss, but for me, growing up as a young boy, Pizza Hut was a sit-down meal.
Yes. Yes. And they even had an ice cream. An ice cream serving machine.
Yeah.
They don't still have them, do they?
I don't know.
I'd go back just for that.
If you've ever seen Mr. Whippy, the man who invented it on the toilet, you could understand his motions.
Oh dear. The soft serve.
So there's not many of the sit-down restaurants left in Australia anymore. I understand that recently they were announcing the closure of the last sit-down restaurant for Pizza Hut in South Australia. Still in Hobart, in Newtown, I believe that the sit-down restaurant is still operating. So
the one in Ballarat is closed down too, has it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. My reference point is Hobart for that.
Okay.
My perception, though, of Domino's has always been something different. And we'll talk about that when we get to that.
I'm just wondering whether that's got to do with advertising. I have eaten Pizza Hut. In the earlier days, I ate Pizza Hut quite a bit. I have not.
And let me tell you, it shows.
You don't get to age this gracefully.
Yeah, it's a wonderful pepperoni-based countenance that you have.
I have not, to my knowledge, had a Domino's. So I don't know how that's going to stack up.
Oh, okay. Well, don't stand on the ceremony, old boy. Open the box.
Oh.
It doesn't really ring, does it?
Oh boy. Should I be offended by that? Probably.
So what do we have? So chefs say that the first bite is with the eye. What do we have? That ain't looking great. That is not looking too fantastic for me. Now, we are not talking about haute cuisine.
It's a pepperoni. I can see plenty of cheese.
Yes.
I can see pepperoni. What else were you after in a pepperoni?
Well, the presentation, it's not great. It looks like something that's been kicked around all of the boroughs of New York City.
Okay, so what's the Domino's look like?
Well, I'm not sure if I want to spoil my appetite.
No!
Or wet it. Oh God, that's not looking good. It's the best of a rum lot. Let's dig in, let's see what we think.
That's holding together quite nicely.
It has all the markings of a pizza, which has nothing to do with the pizza that's in a wood fire oven or that's being classically made. I understand it's supposed to be as close to a thin crust as we could get. It's doughy, it's fat laden. If you've had a few of these beers, it's probably really great. Unfortunately, I haven't had enough of them. This is a poor product.
You're hard to please. I have a feeling you'll be even more disappointed with the next one. As he's washing it down with a Guinness Extra Stout. Taste-wise,
this is not what a pizza should be. So a pizza should have a wonderful dough, which essentially has bathed under the light of a wood fire. It's supposed to be crisp. There's supposed to be some variance to the texture that you've got. It's not supposed to be so pliable and malleable in the mouth. This is a disaster.
I don't mind it.
Oh, surely.
My taste buds have seen better days. As far as taste goes, I don't mind it.
There's a few things we look for in flavour, and fat has always been flavoursome and pleasing. It gives you that tongue feel. Pepperoni pizza can be great. I'll tell you why. It's a simple pizza. It relies on the quality of the base which is really what a pizza is all about, because otherwise you could cook it at home by yourself. It relies on the quality of the cheese. Now, that actually can be quite a surprise. Let me tell you why. In Germany, there was a scandal that people were putting an artificial cheese on the pizza products. It actually wasn't mozzarella, so goodness knows what it was that they were eating. I know we're not expecting something great out of a box, but you can actually have something an awful lot better than this.
In previous hard times, this was quite a staple,
Yeah,
actually.
I agree, in hard times. Okay, now, the accountant part of me coming out, the statistician part of me coming out. The next pizza which we're about to indulge in is really quite tiny. Let's have a look at that. That's a medium-sized pizza, I would say. In Australia, it's not a large, it's not a family pizza. In Australian dollars, in our earthly dollars, delivered to the door, $28.95. Are you serious? Now that's more than an hour's pay. I don't see the value there. Now for me, these pizzas were all about value and about the $5 pizza. Now the Australian Financial Review would probably agree with me because I've been reading one of their articles recently and them talking about Domino's pizza and essentially it being a value proposition. That's what it is in Australia. Now the question that you asked me, and I kept stum, was regarding perception. In Greece, Domino's is perceived as a very good quality pizza. It's a sort of pizza that if you were to go out for pizza yourself, you'd buy it. If you're inviting friends around, you actually would go to a local pizza place instead because it was cheaper and have them eat that. I've probably destroyed the magic and I've probably turned a few stomachs with the way that this looks.
So, you're not a fan, is that what you're saying?
I mean, just have a look at that congealed fat. Okay, I know that some people identify as being fans of cold pizzas and being members of the Cold Pizza Club, and it can be great. The only thing that's more cheery is the welcome light of the fridge after a few beers, and there's a cold lamb roast or lamb sandwich that's there to be eaten. That is something to rejoice for. That, oh my goodness me.
You have obviously been in the wrong end of the army.
Well, of course I was a gentleman of the artillery, insofar as all members of the artillery are gentlemen.
I too was a member of the artillery. I don't know about gentlemen.
Yeah, well, I certainly wasn't ranked as a gentleman.
I still remember heating segments of pizza like this over an upturned iron.
Yes. And pucker pizza, wherever you were on the field, pucker pizza, most of the people who work in there had been ex-service.
Yes.
And you could basically just dial in with your AMP77 radio set. There's someone there who's rejoicing that I knew what that signal was. And give them the grid reference and the Pucker's Pizza would deliver. But I remember the best meal that I had going back many years ago. We were cooking in the dark. Of course, it was complete blackout. And you can't see really much with the red lens that you put over those awkward torches. And somebody decided, well, we're going to have a curry. We're going to have a curry. A curry's a great idea. So we opened up the things. You've got the raisins in there, and you've got the meats and the sauces and stuff like that. Put the curry powder in, and it came out. The thing was completely green. Well, it turned out he opened the jelly packet by mistake instead of the curry. But that was more appetizing to the eye. I mean, have a look at this. I don't even know where to start with that. First pizza shop in Australia was 1961. They say it was Toto's.
Yes.
Do you remember where Toto's was?
Yes, it was.
Actually, it was Carlton.
Oh.
Although they did open a few. So the very first one, though, was Carlton.
Okay. You know how you have Chinatown? This was Italian town.
Yeah, Little Italy.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you what you do. If you're hungry, go into the fridge, take out the slab of cheese, whatever it is that you've got. If you find an old tomato or some tomato concentrate, and you've got maybe a pita bread, or you've got just a normal bread, go and do that for yourself instead, because this is just pants.
Having been in the army as long as I have, I've got a cast iron gut.
Yeah. You know the Greeks had 5 different words in ancient Greek for love. Now, I think you need at least 5 different words for hate for what I'm feeling about these pizzas.
Wow. You're quite adamant about this. So neither of these two do anything for you. That's what you're saying?
Absolute disaster. Have a look. We've just released, actually, our reviews on the burger chains. And
Yes.
I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning
Huh?
drinking milk and taking antacids because it was diabolically what it did to my body. Talking about pizzas, you and I both went off on the, get your own wood fire pizza kick, and we did that, and I've got one, and it does the job. Hey, it does the job. You've really got to cut the wood up, and the problem is that once your pizzas have been fired up, you've got enough wood and enough heat to do another 1,000 pizzas or so. If you ever do that, what I suggest you do is that you go to the market the day before, buy a fresh fish, and a fish or scones, something like that is a perfect thing to add in to the oven after you've done your pizza, because you've got the beautiful heat there.
Yes.
You've already paid for it, you've already cut it, and that's wonderful. But you've shown me something which has just blown me away. You're throwing out a cooked pizza in about 80 seconds.
I've moved away from the traditional, and I've got a gas-fired pizza oven.
Yeah. And how long does it take you to cook a pizza now, once it's up and running?
Well, it takes about 20 minutes to heat up.
Yeah. Which is no sweat at all. You've opened the first can.
I did have a problem with the stone that they gave me that came with the whole setup, and that was great. Right up until I put the first pizza on it, and the whole thing cracked straight down the middle. But I'm always open to a challenge. So I took an outline of this broken piece of stone in the bottom of the pizza oven, and I took it down to my local steel merchant. I said,
fabricate that?
I want a bit of steel plate, this size, this shape, because I'd drawn the outline. So I got a 10mm structural steel plate.
See, this really sums up, doesn't it, in the story, the difference between Seuss and myself, and that when I talk about a broken stone, I'm either talking about the philosopher's stone or the Rosetta Stone, whereas with Seuss it happens to be a pizza stone.
This stone ain't breaking again. There's a solution for everything. Anyway, back to your original question. I can chuck out a pizza about every 20 to 25 seconds without losing any heat whatsoever. And so I could have a party of 50, and every half a minute I can be throwing out another fresh pizza.
I mean, with the wood-fired pizza ovens, I did originally have a very good one before we moved house and had to get rid of it. And it was Australian-made, and it really did hold the heat fantastically. Remember that the traditional ones are made of earth. They're essentially a brick made of earth. They hold the heat.
Yep.
And what you tend to buy nowadays at like a Bunnings or your local hardware shop will be something which is cast iron. And more likely than not, it is actually probably a smelted down Chinese battleship that you're cooking on. So how Italian is that pizza that you're throwing there? I'm not so sure. But not exactly the same.
Would you be more comfortable if it was a smelted down Italian battleship?
Well, it depended in which direction I had to serve the pizzas. If I was serving the pizzas backwards, as like the tanks, I probably would be.
Reversed, yeah.
Yeah.
No, they really are. Both of them a pair in a bad lot. If I was forced to choose, however, as to which poison I'm going to go down on, I reckon Pizza Hut. That really is a disaster.
I think they're both inedible, but please don't order this stuff. It's just a bad, bad product.
Pineapple on a pizza?
Oh, yeah.
You heathen!
There's someone in Hawaii who's going to support what I say.
Yeah, but they're a Hawaiian. What can you really? What would they know about pizza?
What would they know? Only half our pizzas are named after them at any shop you go to.
Oh, hang on, let me think. A Hawaiian pizza?
Yeah.
I reckon we've covered about as much as we can. Obviously, it's may not make you guys happy, but that's our opinion.
It's a good thing I've got dinner in the fridge.
Sorry, guys, it may not be what you were hoping for.
Yeah. And there's a reason you marry a Greek woman. It's not to eat like this.
If you like what you see, give us a like, give us a subscribe.
We'll see you soon.
Hey, tell us what you think below. Catch ya.
I don't know what to say. It's just awful.